was the amount of time that it takes to replace the cells in your body. It's the amount of time that it takes you to replace the cells in your body. So that was another superstition. And of course, people have broken mirrors and just really lost their minds because they thought that, oh my God, I'm in big trouble. Well, exactly. But that's right. That's right. Well, that's the whole purpose of this. How much do you get into this stuff before you start to say, okay, this is being kind of ridiculous. For example, have you noticed that there are no 13th floors on any buildings? Even though the building is 13 feet tall and you're on the 12th floor, but the next floor will either be, they'll call it the roof or they'll call it the 14th floor.
Or black eyed peas on for good luck. On New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, that's another one. I got a cousin that cooks. And of course, he brought up about black eyed peas. Along with black eyed peas, the old adage of having someone coming through your house, the first person through your house at New Year's has to be a male.
Or what's the one where if your palms are itching, money's coming?
Yeah.
Or if your ears ringing, somebody's talking about you. Or if you put your purse on the floor, you're gonna lose money.
Now, some of those. Let me introduce a new concept in this discussion. Are urban legends. Okay. Also, there are phobic or fearful superstitions, and those are we need to watch out for them because they can interfere with our lives and cause some anxiety. An example would be a Friday the 13th, and people may change travel plans or skip appointments because of some anxiety they have based on what they've heard about Friday the 13th. There's no benefit to that at all. I'm going to give you a stat that's probably controversial. Generally speaking, women are more superstitious than men.
I believe that. Honestly.
Is that true?
I believe that.
They experience a lot more anxiety, and I'm coming from the mental health part now. And they seek out help for those anxiety problems. And although there's some personality variables are not strong, we don't look at those as strong factors in folks developing superstition. There's some evidence that says if you are more anxious than the average person, then you're more likely to have a lot more superstitions that you believe in. So as I was saying before, that's something that is easy for us to evaluate using some of the tools in the assessment when folks come in.
Splitting a pole. People walking.
Splitting poles.
Black cats.
If you split a pole at the wrong time, you fall off the curb. That'll be detrimental health.
Yeah, and the thing about black cats. But I wonder, do some of these superstitions coincide with spirituality? Because there are some things that people believe that affect things, or when you see certain things, it means something, like how they have angel numbers. Like if you keep seeing the number 1, then it might mean something. If you keep seeing the number 6 in patterns, like you wake up and see nothing but 6s on your clock, and then you look at the TV and it happens to be 606. Like if you see reoccurring numbers, sometimes that means something. But that's more from a spiritual sense when people talk about stuff like that. But would that fall under some kind of superstition?
Yeah, I would think so. That, and if you got 3 6s on your clock is broke.
Right. I mean, like, but you know what I mean? Like, if you have 3 3s or 11 11.
Well, then they'll go play it. They'll go play it. If they see a number too much, they'll just go to the store and play it.
Right. Like, maybe I should stick some 11 somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He was talking earlier about belief systems, which kind of, some folks may be using synonymously with faith or
Right.
That religious, that spiritual piece.
Right.
It encompasses that, but this also is on the line of the horoscopes and astrology and people's response or belief in some of what they've heard about the astrological realm. And so a lot of times, actually, women more than men, and I just look at men's books and don't see astrology columns. That's just me. But I think the research indicates that that's more along the lines of the cultural we were talking about. And certainly the spiritual piece has a place. We were talking about, I don't know if you heard it, Amber, we were talking about faith. And how that plays into this discussion.
Right.
And I think that this would be a part of that, based on what people have learned as they were growing up. It says most of us learn being superstitious. We learn that as children. Older folks are less likely to believe in superstition, and that's because our worldview changes. I would say that some folks have held on to that.
Just hide it. Leave it alone.
People from different generations believe different things.
I do want to kind of go over the concept of astrology really quick. Because horoscopes are very popular, but I do believe that there is a difference between the overall... Hold on one second.
A difference between what?
Sorry. I had to adjust. I think that there is a huge difference between horoscopes as we see it in magazines and stuff like that and the overall idea of astrology. Because if you look at actual people who are into astrology, what it is they basically have a theory that where the place and at the time that we were born aligned with where the stars were when we were born, or what the state of the universe basically when we were born can affect how not really how our lives go, but can affect different personalities, can affect timing on certain things. Like, they have the Mercury retrograde and stuff like that. And like a lot of people think that that's a bunch of hocus pocus, but I do believe that human life is somehow connected to what happens with the earth, or what happens with Earth's position in the atmosphere. Because even if you look at things like dementia, if we are not connected to the universe somehow, why is it that people who have dementia get worse when the sun goes down? Like, there has to be some sort of connection there. But I think when you turn it into, if you're a Leo, you're going to find money this week. Like, I think when you turn it into that, it's a bit ridiculous. But I mean, I've looked into actual astrology, and actual astrologists who are, in my opinion, pretty legit. I mean, you can always make different arguments for all kind of different things when it comes to psychics and mediums and stuff like that. But the overall concept is really not far-fetched to me, because I really do think there is some sort of connection between the way we interact and the way the world is. Even in the animal kingdom, you know, as we go through different seasons, the animals change, they migrate. As we go through different seasons, the plants change. So I'm sure as we go through different seasons and phases on Earth, we as people kind of change too. But how we change might be a little bit different. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I think that there's some sort of connection there, but it's definitely taken over the top when people try to like publish stuff like, oh yeah, if you're a Virgo, good luck, buddy, you're gonna have a terrible work life this month. Like that's a little far, but I don't know.
The horoscope definitely is an example of a superstition.
Yeah.
I just want to clear that up. The astrology piece, it is, there are a lot of religions out there that people believe in, and I think that, not that this is a religion, but it falls along those lines. And there's not only research, but there's a following who have actual belief in the stars. And I mean, before there was established religion, the Egyptians looked for the stars, the Greeks and the Egyptians. So there's some historical basis for that comes up a lot. There is a woman who wrote a book in a different voices called, her name is Carol Gilligan, and she asserts that we're all tied to a string. And that came from an astrological viewpoint. So I believe that that's another discussion that we need to have because that we'll take it out of the realm of superstition at this point, or ritual, or any. I think it belongs in another discussion.
Well, of course, we have a few comments here, and of course, I will start off with our main guy, Phil. And Phil says that could it be some things have carried through time, a time when basic education was non-existent. So people simply made up things they believe for their own reasons. Ms. Mary is having bad luck because she dropped salt on the floor. So now if you spill salt, toss some over your back, never 3 on a match. Well, matches burn fast. You got your fingers burned. He says, Ambezi, science calls it a theory until it can be proven. Supernatural issues versus the unknown. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that can definitely go into another discussion. As far as superstitions, it's just kind of a weird thing. I think there's definitely a historical aspect to it. I think that a lot of the superstitions that we have come from old wives' tales or come from, being passed down in your family or things children do and stuff like that. But I don't know, man.
Well, and again, when you just get back to a lot of the superstitious things that I'm sure we've all done. Yeah. For example, how many of you guys...
Yeah. Right.
So for example, how many of you guys and girl have sort of hesitated about going out on Friday the 13th?
Not I.
Okay.
Matter of fact, that's the best day to get a tattoo.
Oh boy. Well,
cheap, $10.
That's another show. Okay. What about said God bless you after someone sneezes?
That's just common courtesy.
But it
came from something, because I think back in the day, the ancients used to believe that when you sneezed, you were expelling evil spirits.
That's right. That's right.
Didn't they have like that thing where when you sneeze, the reason why you say God bless you is because like your heart stops when you sneeze or something?
I heard that as well.
Yeah.
All of that.
I heard all those things.
Google doctors you know, now William says here, I'm looking at over here. William says, you know, there's some atheists that think that religion is a superstition.
I